you have my heart. You like them bad, and I like them.
추석 연휴를
Welcome back to the GSL Super Tournament. We just wrapped up our first best of 5 innovation and a very dominating performance against Classic. Classic exhibiting some super cool Oracle style stuff. So if you want to see something pretty neat, PvP, definitely check those VODs out.
We have an offline event right now. If you are in the studio, keep your ticket. There's a raffle at the end where we'll be giving away GSL Season 1, 2, and 3 uniforms, as well as a GSL vs. World GSL All-Stars uniform. And there's some other random stuff being given out too. So just sit through that at the end. They announce the numbers in Korean and English.
Yeah, if you're one of our audience members, basically when the games are done, don't leave because we are doing giveaways.
Hang around.
이동준 선수와 블리즈크를 단절한 이병렬 선수의 경기인데요.
So we got another great match coming up here. We'll be going to that shortly. Okay, here come our next 2 players. It's Deer and Rogue. Now, Rogue, he's shown some of the best games we've ever seen, ever. And then he's also shown some really bumpy ones. So if he can play like he did yesterday, I think he'll be unstoppable. Deer is somebody who was one of our only Royal Roaders at a GSL. Came out of nowhere, managed to win the entire season of a GSL Code S. But he's sort of, I guess tapered off a little bit. Yeah, he's still one of the all-time greats, but he's not the first Protoss you think about, right?
You're very right about
You're
that.
thinking about SOSs, you're thinking about classics. And so we're going to see how Deer does here today, but I think this is going to be pretty tough. Rogue is quite lethal right now.
Like Deer is really good. Everyone respects him a lot. When he's on, he's super duper on. But I think Rogue's not only going to beat Deer, but he's going to beat Innovation, and then he's going to win the finals, in my opinion. Like, I actually think that Rogue is...
Oh, really?
Yeah, no, I think he's going to win the tournament, man. And if SOS dies this round, then Rogue might win BlizzCon, too. This guy's actual skill level is, like, the place where Zergs really, really have a hard time sometimes is Supreme late game against Protoss and sometimes against Terran, although they seem to be doing better, especially on these bigger maps.
Yeah.
But like, Rogue is like the king of that. And not only that, his mechanics are there, his strategy is there, his macro is there, his micro is there. I mean, he's just, Rogue is so good right now. I think he's absolutely going to take down Deer. 3-0 or 3-1.
I wonder if Deer tries to play around Rogue's sort of super advanced style. Maybe tries to just
mass oracles?
Mass oracles, or just do some weird kind of cheesy stuff.
Maybe, yeah.
I feel like Deer is a little bit more conservative, though, compared to some other Protoss players. He's like super smart and tricky, but he's not somebody who does something that I guess is insane as SOS, right? Yeah. Like Rogue against SOS, I really don't know. I actually just don't know that one, man.
Well, they even live in the same house for years now and are on the same team, so I think we would not even understand on another level.
They'd be meta games and be like, yeah. All right, game number 1 is going to be on Ascension to Ire. Let's get this going.
GSL Super Tournament Season 2.
All right, in the upper left, in the blue, excuse me, he is
Deer.
Oh, I don't know colors anymore.
I knew you were a phony. I knew
I'm like
you
in the
didn't know
green.
colors.
Wait, no, we never use green. In the bottom right, in the red, he is
Jin Air Green Wings. Rogue.
Okay, well that answers the question I was asking earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he is going to try to just end this like super quick.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy. It's obviously Proxy Gate Zealots. Hatchery first, so I mean, there is potential for a win here. I mean, I like
there
it,
you
man.
go. Yeah, 3 gates.
You can totally do this.
And this is another day where the ladder is ruined for Zerg players who are just trying to have a good time.
I love when Protosses are the villains.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, hey, you like oracles? Oh, you like these oracles? There's
Yeah.
like 40 of them. It's like, oh, you like expanding, huh?
Yeah, huh?
Well,
Get your 11-year-old cousin, you teach him this for like 2 hours, he goes down and beats a pro gamer. It's like, oh.
well, the funny thing is, it almost works better against pros.
That
than
is
on
the
the
important
ladder.
part. This is not something you normally see in tournament play, because you can hard counter it. So I mean, you just check for it. It's a rumble build skill.
On the ladder, yeah, it's a rumble build skin for sure. But on the ladder, like a lot of Zergs will just rush. They'll just like go for the pool. You know, they'll get the speed and stuff, and they'll be like, oh, okay. They kill your pylon, you're like, oh. But this definitely has potential of working, man. Oh my god.
So there's a follow-up cybernetics core. So 3 zealots are all going to get there at the exact same time.
So is he just going to Adepts after this? Like 6 zealots into Adepts?
I guess so, yeah.
Oh man.
Okay, so it's 6 zealots, and then yeah, I guess the core finishes right around then. Let's see where he goes. Does he go right for workers?
I think he has to. If you just kill the hatchery, then you're going to be sitting here with 3 gates way up, not being able to do damage.
Okay. Drones are being pulled. Now note there's a spine crawler being made. He's going to try to use the workers to make a wall. To try to come in behind and surround.
Queen pops out, so definitely helping out quite a bit there. 4 drones already falling, though. 5. Okay, only 5 so far. He's got double queen, and that spore is going to finish, so that's nice. But
does this just like not work at all? I actually feel like this is not working at all.
The big damage is going to come with the Adepts, I think, because the Adepts, like, the Zealots have to get on top of everything. You can screw up their AI. The Adepts with their range are going to be able to really snipe drones.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
But I mean, I think Rogue will hold it. I think he'll hold it.
Well, the thing is, if Rogue holds this, then I think it's safe to say that Rogue wins, because this is not doing any kind of crippling damage where. You know, we have to look at each other going, what is Zerg going to do now? I think he just techs up normally, and the game actually is over. I mean, the spine's over here at the front. Does he just fake that out and try to push on the...
I guess you just continually make units and eventually hope that you hit that critical mass, because Zerglings are very good, but you can hit a mass where the Zerglings are not getting the correct surface area to win the fight.
That's true.
So he might just have to wait for that. He's making as many Adepts as possible, but some Zealots.
Zerg could always have a small counterattack here. There's not really very much back at, well, not really much of anything, back at home for Deer.
Yeah.
So that's something else to definitely watch for. Here come the Lynx now. He's got that surround. There's some more Adepts coming in here from above. The Spine Crawler's pushing in. Now note the Adept shade here. Oh man, did Rogue just bungle it?
I think he realized that the mass was coming up. He was trying to hit before that, but gets totally slain.
Yep, so many bruised units. A few more Lynx coming in, though. The Adept, though, targeting down each of these weaker, I'm sorry, the Spine, rather, targeting down these weaker units. And he's going to hold it, man.
So this is kind of part of what I was talking about before, where Rogue just kind of like knows how to deal with it a lot. Like, I was talking about Supreme Late Game, but just in general, I'm surprised that he held it that well.
Me too.
Like with the first surround, Deer kind of killed it, right?
Right.
And then Rogue's like, nah, no problem here.
So warp gates are going to come in, so he can actually just barely stop this link counter.
Yeah. Well, does he warp in at home? Yeah, looks
that's
like
the next big question.
Or does he?
Let's see if he's watching. He should know now. Okay, he's doing it.
But that Nexus definitely can be canceled.
Yeah, the Nexus, there's no way that should survive, I think, no matter what.
Certainly not.
Mothership Core goes in and drives that out. So, you know, a long time ago, he's going to be able to take out this pylon, no problem. A long time ago, everybody in RTS games was like on one base.
Yeah.
And they try to squeeze out another one, but when you look at really advanced players, they end up getting a bunch of bases quickly. But one of the reasons why is that, like, the difference between having 2 bases and 1 is so huge that the risk that Deer took and him trying to scramble and acquire his own natural should really be the sign that tells us how behind and how bad this is for him. He's just now making a Nexus at his expansion.
It's hard to imagine how he's going to take this game. This is a very, like, his economy at least stayed together for 1 base, and he did make sure that the drone count of Rogue wasn't so high.
Yeah.
But Rogue's sitting here already with 2 hatcheries. Excuse me. And there's, like, no gateways at home, for instance, for Deer. Oh, no, that's... about the worst thing that can happen.
I would just put his odds at like just so close to 0, like at this point in time, because somebody like Rogue, who just has such a deep understanding of how all the aspects of this game works, is going to so easily be able to exploit this.
I think so.
And there's so many different ways that Zerg can exploit this, whether that be different unit comps or expanding rates or, you know, doing something weird like Nihilus in him. I mean, there's so much weird stuff you can do. Protoss is basically all holed up, trying to hang on, like trying to not die basically for the next little while he can tech up. Stargate's so close to finishing.
So Stargate here plus. Wait, he made Twilight and Stargate, right? Okay, so is he just going to go into Glaives after Oracle or something here? Try to really cheese him out, keep him defensive with the Oracle, and then just mass adept him?
I mean, I think it's a great idea. I don't really see what else he can do, to be honest, Artosis. I mean, certainly with the unit comps he's got now and the structures, that seems to be what he's doing. But if you were to try to do anything else, I mean, what would that even be?
Yeah,
right? Like.
Yeah. You're not going to transition this into a macro game.
I don't
imagine
so.
Trying to get Psy Storm before Hydras hit you at this point.
Yeah, like, really. It's going to be super hard.
Roach-Horn on the way. That's a great counter. Loving it.
Yeah, and I think on 3 bases, the sheer amount of roaches he's going to get, he can sort of just run over his opponent, you know? I mean, roaches are already pretty beefy units. Oh, man.
Even just defending feels like victory. It's the amount of all-in that Deer has been for so long.
It is interesting that we talked about this earlier. Like, is this going to be a series where Deer's going to try to avoid playing a normal game because he'll probably lose to Rogue in that? And so far it has been. But, like, where do you go from here into the next game? Let's assume this game winds up the way that we think it is. I mean, I don't even... You get even cheesier? Do you try to go back to it?
Well, I don't. You can't get cheesier than what he opened with.
I guess that's true.
Is the ultimate cheese.
Yeah,
because there is not really a transition as we see. This is all kind of like very, very tough. So I mean, there's mass Oracle play. He could go into standard play. Like Deer is a good standard macro player. Matters the map as well, of course.
We have a lot of big maps in the Super Tournament right now, guys. Which means we could have some very long games, especially maps like Acolyte, made for some wild games. Nexus now going down.
He's got that glaive upgrade done. So moving across the map with this many adepts, we'll see how much damage he can force out here. A Baneling's being made already. So if he shades a little bit too far forward, that could be bad.
Okay, looping around here. And we see that these Banelings are going to connect. He has to cancel that. But meanwhile, he has driven some of those drones back. So this is the beginning of Deer trying to come in and do damage. Now, the only thing that he really has going for him, to be totally honest, is the Adept Shade ability. Because Zerg will just kill this if he fights it head on. He'll just totally shut it down. So,
well, just keeping that pressure up. Look at this. There's some spines on the way and stuff. He had to make Banelings early on.
Yeah, I mean,
slowing the Hydras. Like,
he's making Zerg respect him.
The amount that Deer is recovering from, you know, just like not having a Nexus for so long is, I find to be very impressive. You never really see these 1-base Protoss builds get into 3 bases that are mine. Yeah. But it feels like this game we might.
I think you're right. You know, it's funny because this was a game where it started out, and once Zerg held it, almost anybody else, oh my god, well, oops. Remember when you were saying that he was sort of okay? Well, that was before this happened. So, okay. So now the question, Artosis, is how do you recover from here?
You don't.
That was, well, okay, but like a little bit ago, he seriously, he looked like he had it going. I was saying,
well, he was putting something together at least.
Yeah, yeah. I was saying earlier that, you know, it's all he had going for him was the Adept Shades in this moment, trying to keep Zerg on the defense. But the moment he committed in there, I was a little bit surprised because, first of all, he knew there were Banelings there.
Yeah.
The Banelings aren't going to catch him, but I think Deer is sort of aware of, like, this is a really tough spot I'm in.
Well, he's going into Storm, and it's surprising. Like, look, the Hydros upgrade just started around the same time as Storm, so that's like,
yeah.
Hey, he's
still
battling as best as he possibly can, but Rogue, his creep spread's starting to move out a little bit more. He's taking his 4th base. He's got drops. His Hydros upgrades are coming online. I'm like really impressed by by what Deer's been able to do. Like, and again, I know that there were definitely some decent aspects to what the rush did do. It forced a lot of lings. It did kill like 4 drones or so, maybe a little bit more with those adepts coming out. Yeah, you know, it did some things, but like to recover from there, I feel like you're walking such a tightrope because Zerg might macro you out. He might cheese you out after that, right? There's like you don't have anything to work with. You have almost no intel. It's very tough.
You're completely in the dark. You're absolutely right. Tech is staggered. So Rogue is getting ready to dive in here.
He's got Banelings in that Overlord.
Yeah. Now, Deer should know that, but I think knowing is not the issue here. It's like, how are you going to actually control your army with this? And here we go. The mine has been... Okay, actually, the Archon hitting all those Banes was pretty sick. Let's see how the Psystorms connect up here. Those Banelings not actually connecting really with anything was huge, by the way.
Yeah, it's
that
like
was
he
actually,
only got pylons there. And
what are we seeing here? Is he actually going to just stabilize and just have a normal game? It's starting to look like it, man.
Possibly.
Crazy.
Okay, his 4th base does get canceled. He has a Baneling drop coming in as well, so that could connect and kill a lot of probes. Deer with a nicely placed observer there, seeing what's going on. I like the tech up into lurkers here as well, I have to say. The immortal count, because of the wonky opening, is 0 at the moment.
Oh, nice. 10 kills there. Uh-oh. What's the fate of that Baneling Artosis?
That's actually really annoying when that happens, because as Protoss, you got to be there when it comes out.
Yeah.
If you have damage probes sitting there, otherwise everything's going to be red.
Okay, so Hydras and Lings continuing to be pumped out. I think that Rogue will probably go in here for another attack. I don't see why he wouldn't. Looks like he cleaned up that last Baneling here.
Yeah, but
I kind of touched on it already, but I got to say it again, man. It's actually the most impressive part of this game was that Deer ended up coming into a normal game after that opener.
Yeah. It's just a lot of things can go wrong when you have like no gateways and stuff.
Yeah.
Zerg does have the 2 hatches.
I like how you said that. A lot of things can go wrong when you have no gateways and stuff. That's, could it be more true?
It's true. Another Baneling drop on the way. That lurker tech is done. There are lurkers out. This is a good army by Deer. Look at that army.
Okay. Coming up here now with the lurkers.
That's a lot of lurkers.
Well, the thing is, if Protoss stands around that at all, he's dead.
Yeah.
He needs to get Psystorms off on it. And you know what? That was a really good storm.
Holy.
Just needs one more over there. He can get it. Okay. Rogue is going to go in here for a full-on surround. He's unloading those Banelings, by the way.
We think. I don't see any probe kills coming up.
Actually, I'm not sure. He might have just moved the Overlord in there. Deer. What? Okay, so Rogue eventually chews through this. I don't think that he ever dropped those Banelings, dude.
Yeah,
I think that the Overlord actually flew over there and got picked off.
Yeah, well, there were 2 cannons firing at it, but I thought it had time. Oh, that was funny.
That was funny.
He picked up the Immortal and immediately the Prism died. Okay, so Deer still ends up going down, but very impressive transitioning there. That's a level of kung fu that I wish I could do, Tasteless. To proxy 3 gates and then get up to storm in 3 bases. Like,
I know. It's really quite insane, because I thought once the rush was held, Rogue comes in here and smashes it down, and then Deer goes, okay, never mind. Yeah. Game number 2, but no, we went all the way into Psystorm tech and Lurker tech.
Yeah.
Think about that. That really shows that Deer has a very good, deep understanding of how to do that tightrope walk post-cheese into normalcy.
Yeah.
As far as build orders go. We're going to go now into game number 2. No breaks in this best of 5. It's going to be on Abyssal Reef, a map that can basically make any kind of game.
Oh, this is going to be a really fun one here with these 2 players. I hope that we're seeing a more normal game out of Deer. Abyssal definitely a map where we can see the Supreme late game, all the bases taken, crazy spells all over the place.
That's right. Let's see what happens, man. Is Deer going to try something else cheesy, something risky? Or is Rogue too ready for it and he's been forced into a standard
Season
PvP?
2.
All right, in the bottom right in the blue.
Deer.
In the upper left, in the red, he is.
Jin Air Green Wings, Rogue.
Whew. Do love this map. Looks like a gas pool to open. Rogue is not messing around with Proxy 3 gate anymore.
Well, I don't blame him for trying that. And, you know, had that worked, that would have been huge. Hope Mom's watching. Some Rogue support here as well.
Wow, if your mom watches StarCraft, that's
you got
pretty
a cool mom. Yeah, that would be epic mom there.
Yeah. What if she's a noob, though? She's like, why didn't he make ghosts?
The other question, of course, is
I like Void Ray
who would Mom be
Rushes.
rooting for here, Deer or Rogue?
Rogue, definitely. He's the sexy boy.
That's
Come on.
true. I got to say, man, I'm feeling for Deer in this series already. And normally you don't say that after game one. You're like, wow, this series is already rough. But, like, the way he went down. Plus, you know how it is if you do a cheese and it doesn't work, but you're like, okay, I'm going to try to crawl back in this game. And it's like 15 minutes of pain where you have almost no opportunities. You're trying your hardest.
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying, but you can sometimes plan a match like that too. Maybe he doesn't like Ascension against Zerg in general, or I'm not sure exactly what his feelings are about that one. But like when you choose to do a cheese like that, I think that a big part of choosing that is the mental preparation that you might look like an idiot that game.
Sure.
It's like, okay, I'm taking a sick risk. I might get a free win. I might look like an idiot. The in-between is the more unlikely one. We actually saw the in-between, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, it's so true, too, because, like, to lose like that is so frustrating, but the fact that he actually made it a graceful loss despite it.
Yeah.
So, Stargate is on the way. Again, everything looks pretty standard from Deer, but we'll see. There's still a lot of room for weirdness in the mid-game.
Studio's really filled out, by the way. We got a lot of people here today.
Yeah. Well, it's fun, you know. If you're going to see an entire GSL code house, you'd have to be in Korea for like
months.
How many months is that?
Like 3 generally.
Two. Is it like 2
stretches
months
2 to
and
3.
maybe like 2 weeks or something?
Well, there's 17 days, which means
here we
9
go.
weeks.
Math on live TV. Good luck.
Actually, normally 10 weeks because we normally do group selection on a week that nothing's there. So normally
that's
it's
funny.
about 10
I
weeks.
guess it always feels a little bit shorter for me, but yeah, I guess you're right.
That math wasn't too hard.
That was safe math right there.
Like, how many shoes do you have on taste? He's like, I don't do math on TV. Like, well, I mean, counting,
how could you put me in this position?
Counting is very basic math, but it's also just a fact you should know. You know what I mean?
Dude, honestly, man, coming here for Rogue, the way he's played in this tournament, dude, overall, with game 1 against Morrow and shutting down Deer, I think this guy has so far had the most momentum if you look at everybody's bracketed story, by the way.
Oh, you mean with Rogue? With
Rogue, yeah.
Well, I think in general, recently, he came out in a couple round of 8s in GSL that were rough, like 2-3 against Stats and 2-3 against Sue, right? So that's like, I mean, what can you say? That's as close as it gets. But then also, he was dominating the Korean ladder for a really long time. He was #1 for a very long time on that.
Right.
He smashed IEM Shanghai. A lot of people were not expecting that. He killed it. And that was like Super Tournament. It was just like, wow, it was so close to Super Tournament, even time was in it. You know what I mean?
That's true. It was actually kind of funny because we've had so many great games from Rogue, but then he flounders out. It's like, that was the best play we've ever seen. And then the next game, remember the game he had against Sue? Where like one Baneling didn't connect. There was like one link blocking one Baneling, and it actually...
And Sue ended up going to the finals again. And it's like, whoa, this is...
Yeah. And it could have been him.
And that's funny, because if that Zergling had not blocked everything, he would already have a ticket to BlizzCon.
That's true. he might have won a GSL code as well.
Maybe. It's the smallest things that make a difference.
Really good timing there with that group of lanes. They came right on top of that Nexus the moment it started. That's the quickest way you can get it to cancel.
Yeah. Also, Mass Oracle is the name of the game here.
Once
for
again,
Deer.
man.
Yeah, not too surprised.
The first 2 days of Super Tournament, I think one of the big themes was people trying Mech.
Yeah.
Seems like on day 3, it's people trying Mass Oracle.
Well, the Mass Oracle is like, it is, this is its time in the meta. Will it continue? Will people really figure this out? If anyone's got it figured out how to kill it, it's going to be Rogue, in my opinion. So I'm not really feeling too scared for him here. We'll see how much damage he ends up taking. But I don't think he even completely knows because the Void Ray cleans up Overlords and everything. So,
okay, he spots that now.
Yeah, he sees it.
And
he has. Oh yeah, he has Overlord speed anyway, so he definitely knows.
I think that, well, no matter what, I think that Mass Oracle is going to be on the radar, but it's now going to be officially a thing in this series as they're coming in here now. And he's also driving away a good amount of Overlords. I didn't expect us to get that many kills, but it is.
Yeah, he's spreading out some spores too. I like these spores. Look at that. It's like a random spore. What are you attacking that
Whoa,
near?
what
is this?
What is he doing? I don't even understand. He like hit. He's like, I'm going to do a little bit of damage to all your guys.
Yeah, and that was like the spore that doesn't matter. That's like a zoning spore.
Yeah.
And he just was like, okay, I'll kill this first. And then he realized, oh, there's like 6 queens here. I have to get out of here. There are not even drones I could kill if I kill all this, which I cannot. So
he's taking a 4th? Okay. So he's going to completely rely on the fact that the Oracles are enough of a threat if he moves out on the map that he can be killed. But I feel like Rogue could handle that. Rogue is definitely somebody who's got the right calculus in his EVP, right? Knows that balance, knows how to get the expansions up, knows how to macro it up and punish.
I think he's the best EVP player in the world right now.
Yeah.
Even over Dark, in my opinion.
Think so, really?
Yeah.
Actually, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, he's... I mean, no one will ever impress me. Well, I shouldn't say that. I get more impressed like every year, but like that one game that he played, that one ZVP he played on Acolyte semi-recently, I'm like, oh, okay, you know more than everyone. You're the guy. You're the guy. Okay.
Boris is the cancel, by the way. But it looks like that's not going to be too much of a problem here for Zerg.
Carrier's going to be on the way pretty soon here.
So we're going with this really alternative air style. We've seen this on certain maps, but it's interesting to see that even the top Protosses think that Abyssal Reef, it'll work on this map too. Yeah. This is actually the map that basically you can do anything on.
That is true. That is true.
And that's saying a lot for a one-on-one map, by the way.
Yeah.
That's saying a lot.
This really is the best map. I'm going to be really sad if they remove it from the ladder.
Yeah.
Ever.
By the way, Deer's been bleeding off Oracles here and there.
Yeah.
And that's actually quite bad.
Well, he's made enough that, like, basically he's not going to get attacked. People aren't really going Hydra attacks against Mass Oracle anymore, so it's bottom time to, get out his carriers.
Yeah.
Will Rogue do something like go into Aspire? It doesn't look like it yet. He's going up into Hive Tech. Generally, it seems like he really is a big fan of the Viper against Protoss, and just in general as a late game unit.
So, in moments like this, it can be pretty tough for the Zerg to do any kind of initiation. That's how Protoss has set it up, right? Kind of hard to move out if your army can be vaporized immediately.
Yeah.
And that's what's allowing him to actually go carriers for the big picture thing here. For some of you guys that don't play that much, you can't just like play a normal game and then in the normal game make a bunch of Stargates and start making carriers behind that. It's the way he opens this up that allows him to then get to this weird point where we're seeing a unit that we don't ever really think about, at least immediately in this matchup.
Yeah, carriers they are super strong, but they take forever to build. They're so expensive. Especially those interceptors. Oh my god, they just break my bank all the time.
Yeah.
But anyways, a lot of queens walking out into the map. Really good creep spread at the moment. Spire is coming up along with that Hive. A lot of upgrades as well on both sides. Going up into Charge and that Templar Archives. Obviously needs to get into Storm as well. Carriers are not just an end-all unit against Zerg. Zerg can counter carriers. It's a combination of units, which includes High Templars especially. That becomes very difficult to deal with.
We're finally getting the mothership in play here. Now let's see if this connects. Hold on, Baneling drop. And I don't believe Deer is watching. Oh, 11 kills, that's huge.
And that was 3 or 4 seconds before +2 was done. If +2 finishes, he actually one-shots him, so.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah. Still did its job still. 11 probes is fine. He's
well, I mean, as long as he kills him, it worked.
I'm sure he was trying to time it with +2. But now we've seen he's made a mistake.
He's mortal after all. So, to deal with the air threat, we see spores being set up everywhere. The middle of the map is like a big no man's land here. The Oracle's flying around to try to tag and monitor movement. We're seeing basically tension build up on both sides, as this was a game where you couldn't really engage the guy like early on like we saw in most of the other games here today. This is a game where it's like there's too much at stake to try to attack into the other side.
Yeah. The defensive capabilities are so strong too.
And in some ways, a good way to think about that is like two players are in a race. right? They're both racing up the tech. They're trying to get everything as fast as possible and as efficiently as possible.
Yeah, while still having enough that they won't die to their opponents. So that is definitely what we're watching.
It's a real balancing act here.
Yeah.
But and as that's going on, they're trying to make everything as efficient as possible on each side of the map.
Yeah.
Do I have everything covered? All right, let's make some more defense over here. And Rogue is really, really going into the Spore game.
No, I love this part of Rogue. He's adding in, he already has his infestors, right? He's getting things like Neural Parasite. He's getting all of his upgrades. Really mass spores, because that's the one thing that's really going to slow this down. You got to stay there and kill the spores. It's not like you're going to chase things over spores.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of this. And I mean, this is all this stuff I've been talking about Rogue, why I think he's a true contender, is how strong he is in this late game scenario against Protoss.
Oh my God.
Yeah, see, that's 13.
Again,
Last time it was only 11.
Yeah, that's
because he didn't wait for that
he was
+2.
slacking, man.
But yeah, I mean, this is where, in my opinion, Rogue is unmatched.
Well,
is this aspect of StarCraft 2.
He can suddenly switch into it like he's a turtling Terran. You know what I'm saying? He can play your normal Zerg game, but if he has to like hunker down and just like mass up, oh, he's good. Like, don't leave this guy alone in a game.
Don't leave him alone.
Don't leave him alone. You better be like, trying to attack him and keep him honest, because Rogue will just, shoot up.
Yeah. Oh, you like that noise?
Yeah, that burpy noise you made on the mic.
That wasn't me. That was one of the critters on the map. What are you even talking about? It's that shark that goes around.
Yeah.
Look at it.
I thought we decided that was a dolphin.
A dolphin
with a shark.
No, you can just tell by the way its tail is.
They're in outer space. Don't tell me.
Dude,
what the
even space dolphins have sideways tails, not vertical tails. Come on.
You don't know.
Oh, jeez.
You ain't been into space.
Oh, my God.
Not fooling anybody here, man.
Tace is talking like he knows anything about dolphins.
Someone get Elon Musk on the phone and tell him Toast just thinks he knows what's in space, man. Come on.
And he'll be like, wait. So you're telling me this jobber with the beard over here thought that even in space, sharks could have horizontal tails and dolphins vertical?
Yeah, that's right. Someone's going to tweet this at him. He's going to be like, what? And just block him. Like,
good.
Like, who are these idiots on the internet?
It's like, make sure this guy never gets to go on a space shuttle and he blocks the guy.
There goes your trip to the moon, tasteless. Hope you're proud.
You can't ever come visit my moon base now.
I was hoping by StarCraft 3 I'd be able to go to my moon base, but I guess not. I should never have said that in this show. Okay.
Greatest mistake of your life. You don't even know it.
Definitely. Well, that's
so
refreshing.
That is.
Whoa.
Wow.
Did everybody else just see that?
You know what I want to know?
Dude.
Here's what I want to know. Does he have?
Does that mean that Deer automatically loses, or those the rules? Is that it? Can we get the ref out here? Is it over now?
Dude,
does he win the Super Tournament? I'm not sure. No. I don't know. Someone pause the match. We're going to find this out.
I love that.
Okay.
The little snap, they just fly by. He's like, yoink, that one's mine.
Yep.
I
know the hockey's to tag you as well.
This is what I want to ask. Rogue uses Neural late game. Look at that. He grabs another one. See that? Another tag. Oh, my God. He's so handsome.
Look at that.
He should have made it. Why didn't he make a stasis ward? He doesn't know the hotkey to that one. He had enough energy. He should have put a stasis ward down. You kidding me? Walking with your high jumpers to get stasis in a PVZ? You're not recovering from that one, Tasteless.
Right, man. You got a point. You're on to something.
Oh, my God. Thinking tag is the best? No, man. It's stasis ward until those things have a timer on them. But here's the real question, Tasteless. Did Rogue go in and do custom hotkeys for the Protoss abilities?
Oh, that's the big question.
That's the real question that I have. That's the only thing I'm... Gary, you better ask that, man.
That is just like... That was so crazy that we're seeing that. But this is what we were talking about earlier. Rogue is so good at taking full advantage of like massing up, macroing up, getting all the abilities. And we're seeing that now.
He's just removing creep.
Well, that's, I think, all he can do for the time being.
The army is so good here for Deer.
This could be one of these games where we end up with just too many corruptors and it gets weird for Zerg. Zerg's like, I have no way to get rid of these.
Well, normally that would be the case, but it's Rogue, and I've talked a lot of smack about how good he is at this, so let's just sit and watch. He's never made too many corruptors.
We have occasionally had these moments where it's like everything's starting to heat up in the air, and then Zerg's like, I don't know, man, I got like 140 supply and corruptors, and I can't do anything to kill your base. Like, I won the air fight, and I don't know what to do with these things now.
Well, that's when you start puking on the buildings.
Yeah.
Then a Psy Storm comes down, you have to run, and one Archon comes. I guess you countered my strategy. Couple more Stargates on the way. All the upgrades going to be finished.
Let me check something here. How many more bases do we have left on the map? We have 1 on the left and 2 on the right.
Yeah.
Although it seems like it's actually Protoss expanding at a slightly faster rate than the Zerg, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if that's the way it's supposed to be, because this is sort of an exceptional late game situation.
Yeah. Rogue, I feel like sometimes expands a little bit slower than some of these other Zergs. Like, if you watch like Dark in this type of situation, a lot of times he's just like always taking the bases.
Yeah. And
then Protoss can pick off. I love that he's too lazy to click on all those. Yeah. He's like, no, I have enough
energy.
Too much
APM, I can't click them all down.
Yeah.
Rogue's like, that's part of my strategy. I'm like, man, this is advanced.
Like, the Dark will, like, a lot of the times, and a lot of Zergs will, just expand everywhere. Then the Protoss will kill bases over and over. I think that Rogue, he has this other level of patience where he's like, I will eventually take all these bases, but does he need to take them right this second? I think that as long as he's making all of the spores that he needs and keeping his army in the right positions, that's the most important thing. He doesn't want to take any damage. Because when Protoss wins games like this, Protoss doesn't have a lot left at the end a lot of the time.
Oh, this is novel. Here's 2 Ultralisks.
The harass Ultras.
Yeah, the harass Ultralisks. Now, Protoss is moving
17-minute
up.
Ultralisk harass, Tasteless. You haven't
Gotta go back and stop this Ultralisk! You'll never get me. Look, he's running at her. Ultralisk running away, curling his mustache. He's got a cape on.
Oh my god, I would pay $20 for an Ultralisk cape skin.
Yeah.
And I would switch back to Zerg and I would go Ultralisk Rush every game.
Absolutely.
That is amazing. With a curly mustache and a cape. A cape is for a superhero and a curly mustache is for a supervillain.
Yeah, so you get
so
both.
This doesn't even work together, but I love it.
Yeah. No, villains can have capes. You know
what villain has a cape?
Doesn't Hobgoblin wear a cape? No, maybe he doesn't. Am I wrong? Hobgoblin wears a cape.
I don't know.
You weren't thinking I was going to say Hobgoblin, but I... Yeah,
well, if I was, Andy wears a cape, then that would be stupid of me to challenge you, right?
Yeah,
so probably not. Yeah. No, I wasn't thinking that. All right. Look at that Ultra go. I'm out of here. Yeah. Oh my god. That guy ate his Wheaties this morning, man. Yeah. He's booking it.
Okay, harpoon that and took it out. Some of capes. What if we wore capes, man? Like when we cast, like these are our caster capes. We just like never talk about it. People
wear capes instead of like a shirt
I was
tie.
in the studio. They are wearing capes. It's really weird. Oh!
Nice recall. That was
okay.
Really
recalls,
quick.
but you know the real story is that it can't recall the army now. Oh, it's happening.
These parasitic bombs and bubbles.
Oh my god! So much supply.
He's so good. He's so good. Oh, what is going on?
Watch the supply go down. Lower, dude. Lower. He's at nearly half supply. Protoss now remaxing with ground.
You see this? He's so good at these scenarios,
I think I just blew out my vocals. Excuse me. I'm here.
This is coughing up blood. This is the end.
Taze, my GGs are going to spatter blood everywhere, Tosis. This is so epic. That was so insane.
Dude, he's so good at the late game against Protoss. He just knows what he's doing. That was crazy.
That was so perfect. I can't believe one of the best late game PPCs we've ever had.
Well, normally when you see the setup they both had, I was hunkering in, Tasteless.
Yeah, me too.
I was getting out my sleeping bag, building a fire to make s'mores with you.
Yeah, we were going to be here for a long time.
It was going to be a 40-minute game, and now I don't know anymore. It's only 20 minutes in, and Rogue is smashing.
And that was so...
Look at this. He's going to kill the buildings.
Oh, my God.
Oh. So that one cannon.
Yeah, he's holding it. Look at that. I love how the cannon's not even part of the targeting.
That cannon is like Atlas right now. He's trying to hold up the whole world for dear.
Look, he's going to try these carriers. He's like, I got to move him over here out of range of the corruptors.
Oh my god, those carriers are super dead.
Yeah. Now, there's a counterattack with Zealots, but they're mostly just sort of knocking down spores. I would be curious to see how many Zerg structures there were in this game, by the way.
Oh, there's
when you think about it, there were a lot of spores made.
Well, there's a tab for that. We'll see if it ever comes up.
So, I mean, this should, I think, be the beginning of the end, with the Corruptors denying the tech, Zerg switching into ground. I mean, I'm sorry, Protoss switching into ground here.
Is that more Stargates? Look at that Immortal.
I'll get him! Yeah, come at me, bro. Come at me, bro. Okay,
the DTs and Zealots are doing
where did
good
the rest of those Corruptors go? We never found out what happened.
Corrupted something.
Well, I'm surprised because the 3 carriers, I believe, from when we saw earlier, are there. How are those alive? And why are these Corruptors back? Okay, that's weird.
Maybe he stole the mothership and then recalled to his hatchery.
Yeah, maybe. You know, I want to point out that mothership, when he harpooned the mothership and caught it, that was the entire setup. Yeah. To get rid of that and then start bungling the army.
Absolutely.
Once you pull, so that was not like, wow, what an odd series of events. That was exactly what he intended to do. It was so smart.
Yeah. His plan was just, he knew what he needed, and he did it, and he smashed everything. And now Deer, he's sitting here, he's making cannons, he has stalkers. He's like, hey, these stalkers are going to do something against Ultra. He's like, no, Deer, they're not. They're not at all.
Okay, so we have, once again, the Spores being remade. You know, it's kind of an ongoing theme with these Zealots coming through here. And I got to say, by the way, the fact that Protoss is still hanging on despite that huge one-sided loss in the middle of the map is another testament to what a good player Deer is.
Oh, totally.
I mean, Deer just has not been able to catch a break. I love how with these Overseers, he just unloads Changelings and just sends them out.
Yeah. Just kind of clog up the paths. Also, he doesn't want them to have high mana anyways. Because then they can get feedback down. Nothing feels so good as killing a unit that costs gas with a feedback spell of 50 mana at 9 range. Nothing feels better than that, Tasteless.
I hear you, man. I think actually Rogue's gearing up for the killing blow here. He's going to close in on these bottom bases. I mean, with this many Spores, it makes the air army sort of neutralized.
Yeah. Can't really do much. And in fact, like, nothing can really attack through there very well. Oh, that's a lot of Immortals and Voids. He's actually doing a good job, Deer is, of kind of countering what these units are.
Okay, here we go. It's happening again.
Oh my god, he's just going to kill all the High Templars. He had to make them into Archons because of that.
Okay, here we go.
Continued Fungals going down right now.
Oh, he's actually neural parasiting the carriers.
He is just so good.
Wait, if a unit's neural parasited and the mothership is a recall, what happens?
It stays.
It stays, right?
It stays,
okay.
Yeah.
That's, wow. Okay, well, he's actually going to keep pushing through here. I don't know about, what do you think about that neural parasite there on the carriers? Just because, was that worth it? Or was that a mistake? Did
he grab the Void Rays or the carriers?
I think it was the carriers. Okay. I'm going to have to check the bot later.
Carrier DPS is like the highest, right? So I guess it's like pretty good.
Okay, he does get the mothership, which means this army has no quick escape.
It's making 8 Ultras right now. His mineral bank is actually extremely low. So that's kind of an interesting thing that we see here. His gas bank, though, he had like 9k gas at the beginning of that fight. Obviously spending a bunch now. But the carrier, this is hard. This is a hard comp actually to deal with that many Immortals mixed in too.
Oh my god, does he actually win this? Hold on, we got the chain fungals coming down. Is there an observer? There's so much on the screen I cannot tell. Does he just keep getting these fungals off?
Ultra's coming in now.
Yeah, on the side. That can at least occupy the ground army so the fungals can keep happening. And the Corruptors can keep doing damage.
Oh boy. The Ultras are just getting eaten alive right now.
Oh wow. You know, this really does go to show you how many fungals it takes to kill a carrier, by the way.
Oh, it's...
Unlike everything else in the air.
It's a lot.
You know what the exact number of that is? Because I don't.
Oh, it
must be quite high, though, because...
It's certainly quite high.
It's taken a long time. Okay, maybe Deer actually just wins this.
You know, if this is kind of funny, because with the amount of Spores and Spines he built, it's like a central part of his strategy, but he didn't have money to really make anything else. Like, he has... Normally, Zergs run out of gas late game against Protoss, and then you see him run around with links and stuff. This is the exact opposite. He has 5k gas, and he is struggling to get minerals in.
Kind of a weird spot, too. Thing is, this Death Ball just continues to move around. Zerg doesn't, even though Zerg's maxed out in supply, I'm a little bit, let's see what he's got. Oh, actually, I'm sorry, those are the buildings. Hold on. I'm waiting to see what exactly the unit comp is, because if he's maxed out, he should sort of be able to engage this. Look at how many ultras there are here.
Dude, this damage output from Protoss is pretty sick, though. He's got to get a lot of, oh my god, a lot of Funkles coming down. Corruptor's trying to fight here.
Okay, now it doesn't seem like there's that much underground besides, I think, some Immortals and an Archon. It's hard to see.
Well, the Archon
hold on,
can definitely mess with these Corruptors very, very well, but he is picking off all
the Archons are actually now hitting the Corruptors, which might be too much damage. Transfuses on the Corruptors. Oh my god, he gets one. He should get this other one over here in the corner.
Oh, he's just barely not going to get that one.
Is that it?
Ground Army is punching right through. Uh-oh. Rogue is like not mining after he loses that base, I think.
I don't even know what to say. Deer actually, I think, wins this game, man.
That's crazy.
Rogue doesn't have any, I mean, if he doesn't have any minerals, he can't make anything.
Yeah, Rogue just took his hands off his keyboard. He rubbed his head, said some words.
Oh, man, I would be so salty.
That's crazy. I was so impressed with how Rogue played, but that switch up into ground and making a bunch of ultras while still having a good amount of carriers, that was good stuff.
You know, it's
like, I wonder
it's interesting because the big play of that back there was when he harpooned the mothership and then bungled everything. But that forced Protoss into a mass ground, and I actually don't think he was ready for mass ground.
Yeah.
Is what happened is he's like, I did it! I did it! So these zealots start to come out, and it's like, uh-oh.
Now,
they're starting to chew through everything.
Specifically this game, I think there actually was a big mistake by Rogue. He went into Ultras. He should have gone in, he should have actually just made Broodlords. If he makes Broodlords there against the ground army, you're going to blink Stalkers into Broodlords when there's Fungal? No, you're not. You're not going to do that at all. Like, he's making a like, the thing is, Deer has to guess, right, what's coming out of Rogue. Because if he goes ground units, then he's going to have trouble against Broodlords, right? If he goes, like, if he doesn't make Immortals, he's going to have a hard time against Ultras. He just kind of has to make this kind of decently rounded army, and he doesn't have Tempest. He's actually making carriers. So I feel like Broodlord would have been better there, to be honest.
Interesting. I think you're right. Can't get through that mass on the ground with everything else. All right, guys, this is Game 3 in this crazy series. Bottom right in the blue.
Deer.
Overcoming all odds in that game. Oh my god. That was insane.
Such a great game.
Yeah. In the upper left, in the red.
Jin-Air Green Wings. Rogue.
And by the way, let's not forget that moment. I think this is super important to to say here. Rogue did Neural Parasite and Oracle and then tag his opponent's Oracles with him. I mean, that
Twice.
was that was so cool.
Stasis Ward, I think would have been cool.
Yeah, Artosis is not impressed, but I will for the rest of humanity be impressed for that. That was so sick.
That's a hard game to follow, I tell you.
There are those Banelings coming out, but they don't have plus 2. So it's going to take 2 hits to kill the probe. Those are really good drawings.
They are. Very good. Car body.
Yeah.
So, just chilling until this gets a little bit further along.
Yeah, we're kind of gonna have to wait here. Deer has got to be feeling good after that game.
Yeah,
that was one of the best PVZs of all year. We're getting closer to the end of the year here, and I can say that. So
it was a really good game. I thought for sure when Rogue killed the main army, like so efficiently, I thought for sure he was going to take that one.
Yeah,
I think he thought for sure too.
Well, I think that's actually why it was probably especially upsetting for him to lose that.
StarCraft is so hard.
You're like, I just did all that amazing stuff and I lost. Are you kidding me?
No one ever kills that main Protoss army that well. No one ever kills it that well. That was so well. Like, but man, this game, it's tough.
So, Stargate again here.
You think you'll go Mass Oracles this game?
Well, I actually, I don't think so, but I might be wrong. I mean, well, I think he might go Mass Oracle. Will he go Tech into carriers with that? Maybe not, I would say. What do you think? He could Mass Oracle. I don't think it's going to be. I don't think we're going to see Mass Oracle into what we saw in Game 2. I don't think it's as good on this map.
No, it's not. You're right. Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see him go Mass Oracle into like Charge Lot or Blank Stalker.
This is fun for us guys because we're kind of learning along with everybody else about oracles and kind of how they can be used in these new ways. It's interesting, and all these Protoss players seem to have a different angle with them. You know?
Yeah, there's a lot of different styles and ways that you can utilize these. It's really it's just neat to watch games continue to evolve. It's like the ever-evolving metagame of StarCraft is amazing. It's been changing nonstop since the beta came out. Same with StarCraft 1.
Yeah.
19 years now, just an ever-changing meta. It is never stagnant. And some RTS games, eventually the meta gets stagnant. Not these two. Holy God.
No, not these two at all.
They're just, everything's different all the time.
Okay, so the Overlord's now scouting out, getting a read on what Protoss is up to. Phoenixes are being made here. That doesn't mean we won't see Oracles later, but it is something to take note of because we might continue to see Phoenixes more and more, depending on how Protoss wants to play this game. Rogue's going to continue to expand up here. And this is so far looking like a very normal game.
Yeah, Robo's coming up, so no Mass Oracle type of play this game, that's for sure.
Nope. So for the time being, it seems like on both sides they've gone for very, very straightforward games. Not that Rogue didn't do that to begin with, really. Yeah. But just it's cool to see that Rogue still wants to play stable. He doesn't want to take any risks or do anything wild or crazy, at least so far.
Well, these two Adepts coming in. You can see how many drones he can end up getting. 3 already. Pretty good.
Yeah, the Lynx come in and block that out. Nicely done.
Yeah. See where he wants to go as this Twilight finishes up. It looks like it's going to be Charge. Probably grab a Prism or two, start doing some harassment, get into some Psy Storm, which would be about as standard as you can really get, and definitely Odyssey, one of those kind of standard maps. So everything looking pretty cool. Roach Warren actually coming up here for Rogue. A lot of times when you see that Roach Warren, it means that the Zerg thinks that there might be something a little bit cheesy coming his way. You know, Roach is very good at the early game of kind of stomping down scary attacks. Okay, yeah. No, he doesn't cancel or anything, but he scouts what's going on, which everything looks pretty normal.
Yeah, I like the way that you said that with the Roach. It is true. It's kind of a fix-all for a lot of stuff that can go wrong early on.
Yeah.
But it doesn't parlay well into like a much later part of the game where you have more sophisticated tech and everything. Yeah. They also eat up a lot of supply.
Oh, it's super true. Like they don't do well late game. Do you remember this early portion? Like if he's doing some charge harass, yeah, Roaches are going to be great against that.
Do you remember way back? I forget if this was the beta or right when the game was released, but Roaches cost 1 supply
and had 2 armor.
And they had 2 armor. And the funniest thing ever was just watching someone maxed out with Roaches, and it's like, well, there's like 3 computer screens of Roaches coming down.
It was so funny.
The battles were like the worst thing ever. Is that like the ones in the back are just like running around, bumping into each other, and nothing's hitting anything.
It was awesome.
It's like you got like a big mama pig and all the baby pigs, but there's not enough nipples to feed all the little baby pigs, so they're like running around in the back, bumping into each other. Only it's supposed to be like an awesome esport, and I'm like, oh man! But then they fixed it. They fixed it, and now the Roach costs more, and so there's a certain right amount of them now.
Look at this little attack he's setting up. 3 Archons plus some charge lots here. Insta cancel there on the gold as Rogue sees it. Drop Lord on the way, by the way.
Ooh, got the Oracle.
Nice.
I'm sorry, did he tag anything before that was taken out?
I didn't see.
I don't know. Oh man, good targeting. If these Roaches can nail that Archon.
Yeah, if he can pick off an Archon, that's pretty fantastic.
Oh, good job.
Nice retreat going on. He can just kind of run over to this wall and then hop them all on the high ground if he wants. Looks like he'll be able to get away with the Archon, though. That's
I think he's going to actually go up top and try to do Archon harass while this is happening.
Storm Host on the way, by the way, which is really, really nice. If you go Roaches, this is a good follow-up a lot of the time because your opponent will go into Immortals, and I dare say there's not a unit that's worse against the Swarm Host than Immortals. Watching Immortals try to fight against Locusts is not a fun sight at all.
I love you said that there could be a unit that's worse against it. Like, first of all, it can't even attack air, but I think you mean the fact that it can't even move.
Yeah, it just gets surrounded
gets stuck,
by him, and it just like dies.
Yeah.
And it's, I mean, if it actually can connect with the Storm Host, it does a lot of damage because it's mortal. But like, it's just the Storm Host is very good against it.
Okay, Zerg is again reacquiring the bottom left. Protoss edging up north, and here we go. The Swarm Hosts are out.
Ooh, I think that's
Get
enough to
ready.
actually kill the
Here
Nexus.
we go.
Well, not if he attacks everything else.
Yeah. But
That's
we
fine.
won't have much supply without this pylon.
It's already great value, though.
So this is something, you know, the first wave sometimes is the most important because that's when you know for sure that the Protoss sees how many locusts there are, the fact that this is even happening.
Oh!
And then how can you deal with it? Oh my god.
A roach drop in the main base, definitely not something that you really expect to see, but...
Well, I think it's just taking those roaches that don't become that useful later on and putting them to work.
Totes.
And the thing is, roaches take a while to kill.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, this is annoying. You have to actually do something to kill
mean,
them, like
even though,
warping
you know,
some units.
You know, like Baneling drops, of course, probably better, but at the same time, the Banelings detonate and then they're gone, right? The roaches stay there.
Some
Great force fields.
Yeah, he's picking off a lot of roaches.
Oh.
In the meantime, though, a huge locust swarm in the main base, killing quite a few gateways.
Oh man, this is actually getting a little bit problematic here for Deer. Granted, those force fields against the roaches were great. That doesn't matter that much because the roaches you don't need them as much later on.
Yeah.
Granted, you always want to trade them effectively like those 4 were used down there. Now, the biggest thing to watch for here is the Zerg going to get cornered with those swarm hosts? If he can, like, for instance, come down and ambush them and surround them with force fields and kill them, that's huge.
Nice attack here with some roaches and ravagers into the gold base.
Yeah.
He'll draw the army over that way, and then the swarm host can actually get in and get some damage elsewhere.
Okay, Locust continuing to chip away. Can Deer actually hang on? I don't think so, man.
A lot of damage all over.
Yeah, and Rogue is just getting bigger and stronger. Okay, a full-on engage here. It seems like with these force fields and storms, Zerg is going to come, leaving that fight at least to the loss, but of course the base was already killed, and that's really what's the more important factor here.
Like, the actual fighting army for Deer is better.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a lot more supply on the other side, but you can run from Locust, for instance. But like Immortal, Archon, Sentry, Charge Lot, Storm is better than Roach Ravager.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Hey, here's that thing I was
here's what
talking
you were
about.
talking about.
Run! Whoa!
Oh, they just go for the gateway.
Yeah.
Maybe a better move there. Or they go for the Zealots, then the pylon. They're kind of just damaging everything. They want to make sure Protoss doesn't have shields. Good kill with the Cybernetic score. That actually is quite important. That limits gateway options there for Protoss.
Yep. More Immortals on the way. A Mothership as well. Really like that Mothership ad. Good harassment going on. Not there, but up in the main.
Okay.
Ooh, a Mutalisk on the way. Gonna chase that Prism.
Muta. First one, yeah. First one Prism.
Almost are so comically fast on Creed.
They look kind of funny when they move, don't they?
Well, why would you, if you can move that fast but you're waddling, I'd be afraid you're gonna fall down.
Well, if you fall over, you're sure, okay, you got a curved back. It's like a turtle in a shell.
Yeah.
Then again, if a turtle's on its back, how does it get up?
Oh, a turtle, he doesn't. You gotta help him.
I
The other
start
turtles
to
gotta
freak
band
out.
together. And,
That's when you find out I'm a replicant in Blade Runner. I start to get really stressed out by this thing.
oh, man.
Okay.
That's good counter.
Yeah, that's invisibility is good because they can't see you. So those roaches leave. And, you know, Deer, kind of this whole series, a story of tenacity. This guy is hard to kill. We have another big attack over here, though. Again, a lot of Immortals.
That's too many Immortals. He has to back up. This army gets wrecked by that army.
Okay, but he's sending the Locusts in.
Well, he's going to have to run from
They kind of
those.
look like strawberries from this angle.
And now he just has the cloak, but there's nothing there to actually detect. Well, that was a big waste of Locusts.
Okay, here we go. They're going to die right
We're
when they
going to
to
get
the
you!
Oh! Yeah. Only lost shields.
That Locust Swarm, man. Oh, God.
Okay, here's one Muta. How often do you get to just see a game with one Mutalisk, guys? Just take a moment and I'll be grateful. So he's going to kind of just steadily move across the map, and for all the exciting stuff we saw Rogue doing, Seems like it's starting to kind of seesaw here.
Yes, detection now, so the Locusts are actually going to get in here. I feel like maybe this was a time to recall.
Uh-oh, it's one Archon.
Ooh, those DTs.
Yeah, I guess he just doesn't have anything to spot for that. The Muta does take out the Warp Prism. Well, they just going to hang out there?
Yeah, you can't see him. Just hide him on creep. Hide him in plain sight.
He said, look, if Rogue wins this, we're just going to stay here, okay? He'll never know we were here. So, Overseer's now going to come clean this up.
Deer is playing really well this game.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because that's not. I guess we don't normally see DTs used to defend stuff as much, but yeah, I mean, if Rogue doesn't have the Overseer there, then he can't deal with it. I mean, when you have a mothership like that, you tend to stack your Overseers all together because if you don't see that big army when it's attacking you, you just lose everything. But yeah, he's doing a great job. The moment he holds it off, yeah, he picks up those DTs and sends them in the main, drops them off there.
I like
Smart.
it. He's just playing really well. It's some of the most patient play that I've seen against this many Swarm hosts. You know, a lot of times you feel like, God, they're just gaining value every single time. This is really hard. I got to do something. But he's just kind of chilling. He's making the units he wants. And now he's going into carrier.
I guess, okay, so we actually are going to get to that point in this game. You know, I've always thought of Deer as like a really patient player, but I guess one thing about it is he just seems to be okay with these really long, hard games. Like, he knows that Rogue is very good at this, but he's just going to outlast him and show that he's actually very comfortable in this. Okay.
Well, this is a fantastic Swarm Host Locust set here.
Yeah.
Look at that. Ooh. Kills that base right off.
You know, it's tough, especially if you're teching the carriers, to not let that happen. Right?
Yeah.
Zerg just moves around. Once the Locusts come out, if you don't have everything there to just start tearing through that, they just eat up the building and it's gone.
Well, he's really going for a Deathball style at this point. He's got a Mortal Archon carrier, and I mean, that's
Artosis.
you got to keep that stuff together.
Think we're going to see some Broodlords here?
We could.
Well, there are too many carriers. We have a Greater Spire coming.
Yeah, I mean, carriers eventually counter Broodlords, but in smaller numbers, they don't snipe them like Tempest. Like Tempest, you do a volley that one's dead. You actually have to get in there. The carrier range isn't quite the same, right? It's a little bit less, so it is a bit tough to kill those. So I don't mind the fact that he's getting a Greater Spire. That we could see some real use there, especially if he gets to take out the carriers and goes into Broodlords at that point. Because again, I think that's why he lost that last game, was going into Ultras. He just kind of got that countered really hard. Right. He already had the Corruptors could have made some Broodlords.
Well, what are these carriers doing alone? This is not a single-player campaign. Boom. Just out of nowhere, takes him out. That's great because the carrier's only good if you can build him up in numbers.
Yeah.
Sorry, we keep looking at that attack, but I want to figure out what's going on actually in the middle of the map. Protoss looks like it's moving down slightly here. And I think Zerg is actually, he was setting some of the Swarm hosts back up north, but they're going back into the middle of the map now. Look at that.
They're chasing. It's like, bro, quick, we need to attack these. Oh, man. Those poor giraffes had no chance.
Yeah. Uh-oh. Here we go. The Warp Prism's going to be taken out. Finally, those DTs are cleaned up. A second here.
Swarm hosts still active.
I'm sorry, where are they on the mini-map? I'm having a hard time finding them.
They're up at the top. They're going to go for that base again.
You're right. Okay. And I don't know if there's anything here to defend.
There's like a cannon.
Okay.
Guess he's going to warp in some DTs. But, oh, what's that? An Overseer.
Yeah. So those are immediately cleaned up.
Oh, I like that. That's a good recall.
Does he get it? Oh! See, that's a trick, guys. You want to learn how to be a caster, you know what's going to happen. You just go, oh, when it's going down.
Is he going to be able to do it? I'm building suspense. Whoa!
Exactly. See, here's your caster diploma. You're ready to go.
Yeah, Broodlord's on the way right now. Some nice stuff. Rogue's got this one, man.
Yeah, he's fine. I think the big story here is just that upper right base. He keeps taking it out.
Yeah.
On this map, it's a little bit trickier for the Protoss to expand anywhere but those far right corners. I guess the one exception would be the one adjacent to the main, but that's still pretty pokeable.
Well, especially with these Swarm hosts, you got to control a lot of the map to keep that Nexus alive. Oh my gosh. Like these ones in the corner, the Swarm hosts have to almost overextend, but he's been so busy in the middle of the map that the top right, he hasn't been able to defend against these Swarm hosts even one time.
Right.
There we go again.
Yeah, it's going to go down again. And I like that Rogue is just doubling his efforts here. Sometimes, and this is sort of an in theory thing, but it's better if the Nexus finishes and then you kill it because they can't cancel it.
Yeah.
But it's safer to do it this way. And of course, if there's ever an opening, especially against somebody like Deer, you just go for it, man.
Get it when you can get it, because then you got it. That's what I say.
There's basically two. Two big objectives for Deer. A is to keep denying the upper right. B is to eventually figure out how to kill off this army. And for Deer, it's to just try to get that upper right and start to poke in and make it trouble for Zerg in the bottom left. Zerg may mine out the bottom left before Deer can come over there and attack it, but the rest of the expansions for Rogue are closer to the middle, which makes it easier for him to come over there and reach out and knock it down.
He's moving in right now, trying to get something done here. There's 4 Archons plus Storms, so to kill all these flying units is not that easy. Some Storms go off, he has to pull back for the time being. The Broodlord's dealing some significant damage to this ground army. Wow, those Storms, oh my god, that's a lot of damage. Of course, you really need the Storms and the Archons to help defend, otherwise you're going to lose all those carriers very quickly.
Oh no, the Broodlords are actually kind of a bit too slow. Looks like one will go down, but it should be able to, I think if the army can regroup over the high ground, they can actually pick another fight. The ramps, and the ramps alone, and the only Protoss' ground army can get over there. Still unable to get rid of this mothership here. It goes down, which means the recall is no longer an option.
Yeah, and that means he can actually fully engage here.
Are there no more Overseers?
There's not anything left here.
Oh, there it is, GG.
Yeah.
Okay, Rogue wins game 3. Game 3, right? We've had some long games. I feel like that should be game 5 or something, but yeah. Game 3 in the set.
At least game 4.
Man, well, Rogue, I think making up for that loss in the last game. I think
Deer played that really well, too, though.
He did. He really did. But at the same time, I also feel like, considering how close the last or game 2 was, excuse me.
Yeah.
I think that Rogue should be able to win the series.
Yeah, no, I've thought the whole time, even when he lost game 2, I've never lost. I told you, I think he's going to win the tournament. Like, he's super duper good. I think he's still surprised he lost game number 2, but Deer is like really showing a ton of skill. Each one of these games, I'm unbelievably impressed with how well he's playing. Because I think that Rogue is the ultimate Zerg opponent for this matchup, and he is playing toe-to-toe with him.
I agree, dude. I'm wondering if there's anything that Deer can actually do that's better than what he's already doing now, because he's making it work with, and by the way, we're just taking a short break here because one of the players requested it. We'll be going into game 4 shortly. Deer definitely is doing like a really good job holding on. I don't really see like the big mistake. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't think that there is one. I think that Rogue is better at the matchup. Deer's play, the quality of play that he's shown in this series so far, I would give him victories over basically all the other Zergs in the world, in my opinion, right now, watching this. Like, if he was playing against Dark, I'd be like, oh, I think you might be up 2-1 right now. Or, you know, some of these other Zergs as well, like Sue or something. And it's like, Deer is playing to such a level, but Rogue is just pulling everything out.
It just seems like Rogue plays the perfect late game. He gets all the right tech, all the right units, but also he knows how to move his army around the map. Like, for instance, the fact that he got that Nexus, I think it was 3 times in the upper right. If Deer has to block that off, but at the same time, he keeps moving around, sends enough of the Locust down there to hit the Swarm Host down there to hit the main with the Locust, then goes right back up. He's perfect late game.
Yeah, and
the fact that he was neural parasiting Oracles and then tagging them in game 2, tagging the other Oracles in game 2.
Well, we've been over that. It was a mistake not to make the Stasis Ward as well. But no, he's really, really, really strong.
It's crazy.
Making, his patience in the late game is just like
It's so different from the way we view somebody like Innovation, right? Innovation is just always on point, but the whole way through the game. Rogue is somebody who just sustains and gets to this part where we're so far out, so much of the map is taken. Every part of the tech tree is complete. We're seeing upgrades that are not almost ever used in ways we're not really used to seeing them used. And he ekes out that victory. He's actually okay having the entire map taken, and it comes down to one last expansion with minerals at it.
Yeah.
And he does it beautifully.
Well, he always knows what to sack. It's really impressive. Whirlwind actually going to be our next map. I didn't realize. Okay, let's see. Can Deer
Another big
pull out a
map.
victory? I think that this is where Deer kicks up the aggression quite a bit. I think we're going to see something aggressive out of here to Tasteless.
Well, I don't know if you want to go on another late game like that. I think Deer showed that he was really strong in that late game, but also that it's probably not worth it. All you got to do is win. Doesn't matter how you get there.
Yeah.
Let's see what Deer has up his sleeve, because Rogue seems unstoppable.
GSL Super Tournament Season 2.
Okay, in the upper left. Good luck.
Deer.
Dude, I'm going to be so hoarse by the time we get to the finals, man. These games have been so great. In the bottom left, in the red, he is.
Jin Air Green Wings. Rogue.
Hello, I'm Artosis, the raspy man beside me, Mr. Ed.
What's going on, guys? What did Mr. Ed sound like? I don't think. No, he didn't sound. He wasn't raspy.
But he was a horse.
Oh, you're good. Wow. You should write a great book of dad jokes. That was just like.
Just because you don't get it.
You're the best at jokes where I go, oh, instead of laughing.
All that matters is if I laugh.
I'm not sure if I like you a little bit more or like you a little bit less. It's hard to say, but.
As long as I change your opinion about me, I'm good.
Okay, so they're both hugging the left side of the map. Can you actually go all the way into a crazy carrier mothership on this map? I think it's not as easy, but
well, it's
I thought
a four-player. It's gonna be, there's a lot of bases.
Well, it's just I think that it's so big it's hard to actually move that far all the way to the bottom right. Can you imagine a game where Rogue's trying to take the bottom right main, and
well, you're only going to kill that with a prism.
Deer's going to try to take the upper right.
Yeah, gets a little bit wild. I think this one will be a more fast-paced game. See where Deer wants to go with it.
I mean, is this even I wonder, is Deer even doing the right thing in PvZ? Do you have to try to take up the carriers and motherships when it gets that late? Is that the only way to do it?
No, I don't think it's the only way.
Because he seems to think so if he's doing it against Rogue.
Yeah. Well,
right?
I mean, a lot of people like that. Carrier damage output is pretty crazy. If you just keep them alive, they're really insane, right? But, I mean, you do not have to play that late game.
Right.
You can play other sorts where you're utilizing prisms and trying to use ground armies. You can use Tempest as your late game unit. We see a lot of these Protosses really liking the carriers, but as we saw from Rogue in that previous game, when they're at these kind of lower number of carriers that are just supporting a ground army, Broodlords get a power boost. Whereas, for instance, if you chose Tempest and they go Broodlords, you get a free win. So
yeah.
I mean, there's so many choices that have to be made, and everyone's got to do what they feel is the way that they can play the game the best they can. And who's to say if they're right or wrong? Well, you and I.
Certainly. And the victory screen. I guess that's
and the guys in the chat, of course. I mean, they're the ones that really know.
All the GMs in the chat, for sure, man. I know as much as the pro gamers, I just don't have time to play.
Yeah. Done telling yourself that.
Yeah. Dark Shrine.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he actually started a warp gate right after the in-depth, so that told us there wasn't gonna be a Stargate. And Archon drop is very, very, very popular on this map.
It has been for a while, actually.
Yes.
I think it's a cool move.
It's generally the go-to. And don't forget, all the expansions are on high ground, so it's kind of this interesting thing that even though you go Archon drop, and once upon a time people were just going speed roaches to counter that and stuff. We'll see if that's the way that Rogue goes.
Yeah.
But you can kind of hold on these high ground bases a little bit more easily.
Okay, driving back that Overlord.
Oh, that's funny that he used a...
That seems a little bit weird.
Get out of here!
I know. Did you actually have to do that?
It's a speed Overlord, which is even sillier.
Yeah, you can go around it.
It's I can't have this go up and see that I have my gases. It's well, I mean, he has an Overlord over your tech, so probably you didn't need to do that.
It seems like you did it so fast. It was you saw Red Blood was
no mutas!
Mutas! Color red!
Well, I mean, it's definitely not Mutas. Not right now at 450 with 3 bases for Zerg. Like,
oh, hold on. Okay, now, you usually send the GTs out first, but look at that, Rogue, so good. He pulled the Overseer back. Oh!
that is so close.
He pulled the Overseer back, so the guy's like, haha, he has no detection, and then, And meanwhile, those queens did so much damage that,
he almost got
War
that.
Prism, yeah.
If Bjorn was playing Zerg here, he would have used a grenade to jump his queens forward to snipe that.
Yeah. That's pretty good, man. That's actually, that's like super, like, you gotta watch a lot of GSL.
Yeah, I know, you
like,
gotta be the biggest StarCraft nerd ever.
Someone's watching on Twitch like, what? But they didn't know. They haven't watched enough games, so that's what's going on there. They're busy trying to type, like, these guys aren't funny, but like, no, that was really funny.
Like, get out of here, jock!
Oh, God, it's so low on HP.
Yeah, it's seriously low.
I don't know, man. There's really good angles for the queens to come in here. I mean, the problem is the whole rush is sort of hinged on the War Prism not dying.
Yeah,
and
if you lose that War Prism, that is a big, big deal.
I like that you called the person who would get the GSL joke a jock. Look at their jock. We try to pay him. No, listen, I'm really bad at sports.
Well, there's only two
I
types
promise
of...
you I'm not athletic. Be friends with me.
If you don't watch every episode of GSL, how could I ever be friends with you? We're from 2 different worlds.
So stupid. Well, what's Deer gonna do now? Actually,
You know, it's really rough for me personally as a human being that needs to interact with other human beings, right? Because, like, I say it time and time again. If you don't watch GSL, I don't want to be friends with you. But people who don't watch GSL don't ever hear that because I only say it on GSL. So it's like, come on. What
have you done there? How do you get out of that one?
Oh, my life is a burden.
By the way, this War Prism that lives on the edge is still around. It's slowly going to get surrounded here. But Deer continues to move on. I think the most important upgrade coming up here is Psystorm. I feel like that's when Protoss finishes puberty in a PvC.
Yeah, it's true.
Like, you're
it's
a man
true.
now, you have Psystorm.
Before that, your voice is about to crack,
That's
just
right.
like your units.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really, truly where you stabilize. But
And then the Lurker Den.
That is Protoss adulthood for sure, is when Psystorm is done.
Well, yeah, it's the end of puberty, as you say, whereas the Lurker Den is like when you get your first beard in college right there. That's like,
for sure. Okay, Queen's not targeted. Oh my God, it's got to run!
Oh, I don't think so,
Oh!
Prism. No way.
Hide in the trees!
Are we joking here?
Oh no, he's just gonna make a treehouse there.
He better not
forever.
fly over that little doodad. That might kill him. He's
Yeah,
so
man,
low.
that little animation might just do damage. We don't know.
Oh my God.
Oh boy.
When Deer goes to get that Prism out of there, if he blinks, it's going to explode. He's got to keep his eyes open until it heals up and shields a bit. Jeez.
To its credit, that Warp Prism has not died yet. We're like over 8 minutes in here, and that Warp Prism was here since the very beginning.
Yeah, no, he's taking care of that thing.
But I don't think it can leave there.
I think it should just sit there.
I think it should just sit there. I think it should just sit there the whole game and eat up supply. That's what I think.
Yeah. I think that when he's at 200 supply, that's when he tries to do something.
He tries to do something, yeah. I'm like, nope, Artosis, you don't want that many units killed on the score screen when the game's done. I look at the game a different way.
It's like I leave the game without ever moving that.
Yeah.
You had more tools. Why weren't you trying that?
So Zerg's actually choosing to expand closer, and that actually is pretty significant. Zerg taking the center left. That means Zerg has probably decided that the, I guess the upper right quadrant is going to be too hard for Deer to actually take. So he wants to come up here and kind of get face-to-face with the most fresh expansion that's being taken here by Deer.
I kind of like this because he does have lurkers, so if he just zones this area, the top of that ramp, towards the watchtower, like in that vicinity, if he can just move his army around, and I mean, like with Lurker Hydra Ling at this point, are you going to break through there with what Deer has? No, you're going to have to fly around and do something with the Prism. Like, you can't, I don't think he can just brute force through this army. That's going to be very difficult.
Okay, here he comes now. Now, I think Deer can come from behind, but this is, he can't actually get over there. Meanwhile, this base is getting completely destroyed. Templars are coming up. That's when he's going to have to pull out. But what's going on?
Pulling everything back.
Wait a
Lurker's
minute.
kind of chasing
I think that this army's going to get stuck down here. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
That's so
many
much damage.
lurkers. Oh my god!
Wow. Well, there goes.
And now the Scythe Storms are they're chasing those Hydras. This was a very weird set of engagements.
Yeah, very weird fight. Kind of hard to follow. I think Protoss sort of overextended. Until those lurkers are dead, when the lurkers are underground, Protoss cannot get close.
Yeah, well, if there's a lot of them, it's just so much damage as he walks forward. In fact,
he's got to be careful. He can actually lose those Templars.
Yeah, he has a lot of Scythe Storm there, but does he actually have enough to break through? It doesn't look like
no.
it.
I think Rogue did it, man.
Trying to save his own base, but unable to do so.
GG, Rogue did it.
All right, Rogue taking
Great
out Deer
series.
3-1. That was a great
that was
series.
a lot of fun.
Super respect to Deer. He is just a monster at PvZ, which might sound weird to say because he went 1-3 against Rogue, but seriously, you guys know what type of man crush I have on Rogue CVP.
Ooh. Could not blame you, Artosis. That was an awesome series. And I think Deer deserves our respect. I know that we're talking about Deer here, even though Rogue won, but Deer did a really good job against basically the best of the business. And by the way, at this point in time, I am confident that you are correct, Artosis. Rogue is actually, I think, maybe better than Dark in that super late game.
He is.
He's using these tools we don't even think of, we forget about.
He's really something special. Well, I mean, he goes into that round of 4. He'll be playing against Innovation, and that is just, I'm getting chills thinking about it. Remember Dark Innovation, how good that was? Rogue's on that level, man. We can have another just ridiculously epic series.
That's right. We're going to go to an interview now, see how Rogue's feeling.
네, 이번 8강 승리로 이병렬 선수가 블리즈컨 희망을 더 키웠습니다. 자, 4강 진출자 이병렬 선수 만나보겠습니다.
He's continuing his last hope for BlizzCon. Congratulations. Thank you.
와, 힘든 싸움이고 또 멋진 경기였어요. 먼저 4강 진출.
It looked like a hard fight for you.
일단은
They were insane matches. How do you feel?
마음 편하게 하려고 했는데 점점
First of all,
좀 기대가 되는 것 같고 근데 일단은
I tried to enter the game with an empty mindset.
남았으니까 이제
네.
그래도
it didn't quite work as I wanted.
마음 편하게 하고 지면은
So SOS is left.
제가 무슨 말인지 잘 이해가 안 돼서 조금 더 차근차근
If he
이야기해볼게요. 일단은
네.
Basically,
정말 멋진 경기들 많았으니까 이 여운을 좀 더
Yeah,
느껴보고
Gary says, I don't know what you're talking
어떤
about. Hold on a
경기가
second.
가장 기억에 남으세요?
you said that one more time.
2세트가 제일 기억에 남는 것 같아요. 제가 너무 방심을 해가지고
네.
Anyways, I think the second match,
네.
너무 시간을 많이
that was the most memorable for me.
우선 납치하고 기생
I let my guard down so
폭탄에
badly.
뚫리면서 주력 병력을 2번이나
I couldn't believe I lost that.
그걸 졌을 때 멘탈의 타격이 컸을 것 같거든요.
You had that phenomenal
시간이
fungal.
많이 났고
And you destroyed this entire air army.
제가 너무
네.
이런 경기를 지니까
Yeah, he
화가
came
너무
back
많이
and he had that
나가지고
huge victory after
3세트도
that.
원래
네.
진 거였는데
네.
좀 운 좋게 이긴 것 같아요. 한 경기전.
네, 그렇게
I felt like that was definitely my game to win. I was pretty upset. I was actually quite worried after I
이렇게
lost
4강에
that match
진출하게
specifically.
됐습니다. 김유진 선수 이야기를 하셨어요.
유진 형이
But you know,
이기면은
after you lost that
제가
second set,
떨어지는
you came
거고
back and came 3 and 4 and did it.
지면은 제가
Tell us
기회가
about that.
있는데
네.
그래도 유진
Yeah.
형이 같은 팀원이니까 그냥
네.
If
기대 안
SOS
하고
makes it to the
마음 편하게
semifinals,
하려고요.
I'm worried I have no
이병렬
chance
선수에게
to go to BlizzCon. But if he loses, I've still got a shot.
이렇게 생각하기도 쉽지 않을 것 같거든요.
네.
김유진 선수에게 한마디 해볼까요? 지금 대기실에서 보고 계셨어요.
저는 유진 형이 이기면
I think
당연히
SOS is
좋죠.
actually waiting in the
마음
makeup room.
편하게
Anything you want to say to him?
볼 거니까 너무 신경 안 썼으면 좋겠고
네.
저는 뭐 지면은 뭐 쉬면
Hey, I know you're my teammate.
저는 떨어져도 상관없습니다.
네. 자, 올 한 해 섹시 저그로서 정말
Even-
이 저그의 탑으로서
even if I don't get to go to
것들을
BlizzCon,
보여주셨는데
just do
그래도
what you
이
gotta do.
커리어의 아쉬움을
it's really
지금
kinda
유존의 미래
sweet.
잘 거두셨으면 좋겠어요.
Meanwhile, SOS was like
팬분들에게
probably
앞으로의
helping
각오
Deer on how to beat him.
일단은 마지막 대회인데 응원해 주셔서 너무 감사드리고 항상
So I know this is my
응원
last
와주셔서
tournament.
감사드리고
I hope you guys still cheer for me.
까지 올라갔으니까
And thank you everybody who came to the
신영이 형이랑
studio.
또 멋진 경기 하겠습니다.
아, 알겠습니다. 다시 한번 4강 진출
I really
축하드립니다.
appreciate it. Since I'm in the semifinals, I'm going to show great games tomorrow.
자, 이상 4강 진출자
right, that is for the interview.
만나봤습니다. 자,
Yeah,
다음
kind of a weird
경기는
situation
8강
because,
3경기인데요.
it's completely
2017년
true,
중요한
Artosis.
길목에서
The,
수없이 만났던
the
이현준
SOS is
최고의
this weird
저그간의
factor.
대결.
It is. If
강명호
he
선수
wins
대
tonight,
어윤수
Rogue
선수의
doesn't go to
경기로
BlizzCon. If he
진출을
loses and
하겠습니다.
Rogue wins the whole tournament, Rogue goes to BlizzCon. There you
We're
have
going
it.
to a break. CDZ coming up next. Dark Pursuit.
blessings I have